What up, guys? It is Nickell Gaming here today, and lately I've decided, those silvers, novas, MGs, and DMGs and up. Well, not really global elite, but they all want to get better at CS:GO, and I see videos all over the place on how to get better, and there are a lot that do help, and then there are some where people just mash into your head, you need to DM, and to continue my point on the DMing, I mean, look, this is good and all, but without much coaching or very much knowing what you're looking for, you may just go around corners like this, where you may actually be pretty good, and you'll be like, oh, missed him, come back down, look and kill him, and then, and you never want to be the dude in a DM who's just like, yo guys, I think they might be coming. I think he's coming. I think he's coming. Up. Got him. Up. Dead. See, but back on the CT side. Back to you. You need to just sit here and you need to watch this person's video 50 gajillion times, and then you may get better. It comes over time. And to be honest, there are some things that just a lot of players are missing out on when they're deciding on how they're playing the game. Like, I see countless times where I see there will be like a 2-1-2 setup where you will have two players on B, two players all the way over on A, and then you got one mid. But you'll get that kid who calls, oh, I hear them all in tons. And then next thing you know, you look over, boom, all your teammates are now on B. I see that time and time again where it will just be a quick, fast rotate, which is good, but really it's all upon they heard something. Or same goes with A, whenever they're like, oh, well, I hear him going up cat. But they forget to, all the players forget to even look at or even think, hey, they're up cat, but does that mean they have to go A? No, not necessarily. They can go straight through tunnels, they can take mid, they can smoke off CT. So then, by the time everybody's managed to get their way, either up into CT or over here, they're like, oh crap, no one's here yet, and then they're like, well, they must be on B, and boom. Sure enough, they've taken B, and they've planted the bomb, and you are now in a bad situation. Because, to be honest, taking B is not the easiest thing. I mean, yeah, there's a ton of smokes and stuff that you could probably do, mollies, etc., but let's be honest, you are at a disadvantage. They can hold angles against you. You're going to walk in semi-blind. It's not like you have an Overwatch or something that can just waltz in there and just tell you where they're at. So you're going to have to trust your aim a lot, and you're going to have to trust your teammates won't fail. So in order to ensure that your CT side does not end up that destructed or messed up, you're going to want to try doing something like this. When you hear where they are, or when you figure out a location like cat or lower, your teammates should take it as a guidance to what they need to be watching out for. Like, if they're, let's say they're going up cat, the kid long should try to push up, and if they can, be a little aggressive. If they're going to take cat from you, you take long door right here. You take it. Take it from them. I mean, they aren't using it, so that just gives your team one less spot. They're like, oh, well, if my teammate's long door, then the only place they can come is CT through mid, which your teammate, if he's already there, then mid's sort of locked down, or cat. And now, understanding how to like make sure you're not pushing up too far. Just because you get a call does not give you the full go ahead to push anything. Don't be mistaken by taking long. Here's what you're gonna have to watch out for. There is what's called a lurk, and he will be anywhere random, and he'll make you the maddest person on the earth if you let him just manipulate you and just bully you with where he goes. He could be sitting right here, he could be sitting right there, he could be sitting right there, and he could be sitting anywhere. He is the lurk for a purpose. He's supposed to punish people that push up, and he's supposed to kill them. And so then once the lurk gets a free kill, boom, they have a new decision on where they want to go. And for a CT, losing a CT player is not good. You think 1 for 1 is good. Well, not necessarily. You think A 1-for-1 is where, you know, one player kills T, one kills CT, but CT has to remember, we have to hold a site and disperse now 4 people, and you can't do the 2-1-2. You can now either give up mid, 1A or 1B, or like, it'd be dumb to do a 3-on-1 site, but you know what I mean. So the biggest question is, what should you do to ensure the least casualties? Well, you know, with your team, make sure you need to keep an eye on everything that everybody's doing. Like, if you think that you're the player that needs to make sure, hey, is Johnny pushing up into tons when he doesn't need to? Or, hey, is Jimmy up pushing mid trying to rush tunnel because he thinks he's a god? I don't know. Something like of that is going to happen, and you just need to make sure, if you want to win, keep an eye on all those players, because if you just make sure you go and tell Johnny, and you're like, Johnny, don't push up into tons. They're figuring that out, because your players, honestly, on CT side, you can only do so many things once, like more than once, because what's going to happen is the T side's going to remember, hey, well, freaking Timmy keeps pushing this, and he keeps holding this angle with an M4 or an op. And then they're going to decide, well, hey, if they're doing that, they're going to probably throw a flash right here, and then now Timmy's blind, Timmy's dead, and you are now in a bad situation because now they either have an op, an M4, or something, and that's just not very good. And this accounts for all maps. What the most default setup you're going to want to do for most CT sides is a 2-1-2. It's probably the most common thing you'll see through all teams, and which means it's 2 guys each side. So I know you might say, well, what about nuke? You're gonna have two outside, 2 on B or ramps or whatever. But that's a totally different discussion, because that map's really different, and I don't know why they put it back in the map pool, but I think Inferno may have been a little bit better, but that's here nor there. That's pure opinion, and that's not upon this topic. Okay, so another way you can play CT side better is know your smokes and know your mollies. I know people say, well, you know, people say that all the time. I know my smokes, I know my mollies. But do you really know them all? Like, you know the molly that will end up hitting here, so when you're entering a site, you can have this dude, you can have a guarantee he's not there, a molly for over here, just to knock out areas. Now you need to think about something else. Just because you know they're rushing somewhere or they are somewhere doesn't mean throw all your nades, utilities, flash them, nade them, molly them, throw everything, and just chaos. No, you want to save them for when your team is getting ready and they're about to take site, because here's the thing. The more mollies your team has to mess with, and then the more things they can use against the T side, the better. Last thing you need to do is you want to be like, so guys, let's break the site. Anybody got any flashes, mollies? And they're all like, nope, I'm all clean, because you know you tossed them all in just a couple minutes ago, even though you weren't going in anyways. And remember, a big thing that happens is you don't tell your teammates where you're flashing or when you're flashing, and you'll just be like, oh, I'm flashing, but then you won't really tell them where it's going, so they'll go in and they'll get flashed in the face, and then they'll get mad at you, and then they'll get mad at each other, and then that'll lead to something else, and then people will quit. Either way, CT side is big on keeping the many CT players up and alive. And now, does that mean it's okay for a couple rounds you just completely rush something, like you have 2 guys who rush up and take tunnel? That's good. You know, some rounds take certain things away from the enemy, so you can know what you need to hold, because the more information you can prepare your teammates for, like, no one's going B and ton, it's empty. Well, then they're probably going to be mid, long, and cat, which applies to mid. So pretty much it's all about the information game. But understand, your life on CT matters a lot. Like, you don't want to die because it's going to hurt your team overall. I mean, if you have the god tier player and you're just, you know, doing some stuff that may be stupid but risky, and because you have that player that you can rely on, then sure, that's fine. You know, sometimes there is those teams where you just have the group of players that you can trust that they will end the round, and they might. Risk, like, you can do a high risk for a big reward, or you can do a low risk for a pretty good size reward. It just depends on how risky you want to play your game. Me, I'm all about caution, all about safety, all about making sure I have the most players, just because that's the player I am. I've seen teammates who are high risk, high reward sort of things, where they're just thinking, if I rush this, I get 2 picks, I can be the hero. But I'm the guy who's sitting here like, I don't doubt your skill, but, you know, what happens if you die? What are the consequences? How does that hurt us? And that's a big thing you got to think about. With every step you make on CT side, how can this hurt or help my team? And outweigh them. Like, if I die here, I mean, I'm not saying don't be confident. You can be confident in yourself, but there is too much confidence that can put you in a bad situation. So for a bunch of silvers, lower levels, they just, they think that they're God tier, which, no offense, but there's a reason you aren't in the higher rank. But later you'll find out that MM rank stuff don't matter, and there's other things that matter like RWS and ESEA, but that's for another topic, another day. But always understand, CT side, most in every site or every map, you're going to want a 2-1-2. You're going to want to make sure you know your smokes, mollies, nades, flashes, and all that so that you can, like CT side, if you're going to go up against somebody, why buy armor and just your gun? The T side's already just buying armor and their Glock. When they're going to rush you, they really only have Kevlar. So let's say you buy a molly. I mean, you only have a molly, but let's say they're rushing and you throw it and boom, they're all taking damage. Or you buy a nade. You can either hit someone in the head with it and kill them instantly, or you can damage a whole bunch of people, or you can throw a flash. And that'll help slow everybody down, or even help get you picks. Because you got to think, yeah, I have a USPS. Yeah, I have armor, but you don't have head armor. So a Glock, if it headshots you, well, the Kevlar won't save you at all. I'm sorry to tell you that, but it will not save you, and you are no safer. But, you know, it's not bad. Some people, like me, myself, I don't want to sound like a hypocrite, I normally sometimes just buy out straight out Kevlar because it's easy, fast, and I'm going. But it's just it's smarter to think about nades or other things to buy around 1, and make sure at least one dude on CT side, at least at any round that's eco, has a defuse kit for that chance that, hey, you guys overwhelm them and you kill them all. You don't want to be that dude who's sitting there like, and the bomb's just ticking away, and then it's just kaboom in your face. So that's the biggest thing about CT side in any map. It's not the most in detail, it's not the most foolproof, but it's my 2 cents on the subject of playing CT side in CSGO and how I think you should play it to better yourself. So, as always, remember, like, subscribe. I'd like to know anything you think about it, and peace.